you're seeing that in 2012. You're looking ahead and believing that that's the future that you're going to be living in now. And you're making bets that get you there, really big bets that have very high stakes. Mm-hmm. And then my perception as a layperson is that it takes a pretty long time to get there. You make these bets.
10 years.
So my question is, if that happened in 2012, and this audience is probably seeing and hearing so much more about AI and NVIDIA specifically 10 years later, mm-hmm. why did it take a decade? Mm-hmm. And also, because you had placed those bets, mm-hmm. what did the middle of that decade feel like for you?
Well, that's a good question. It probably felt like today. To me, there's always some problem, and then there's some reason to be impatient. There's always some reason to be happy about where you are, and there's always many reasons to carry on. And so I think as I was reflecting a second ago, that sounds like this morning. Yeah. And so, but I would say that in all things that we pursue, first you have to have core beliefs. You have to reason from your best principles. And ideally, you're reasoning from principles of either physics or deep understanding of the industry or deep understanding of the science, wherever you're reasoning from. You reason from first principles, and at some point you have to believe something. And if those principles don't change and the assumptions don't change, then there's no reason to change your core beliefs. And then along the way, there's always some evidence of success and that you're leading in the right direction. And sometimes you go a long time without evidence of success, and you might have to course correct a little. But the evidence comes, and if you feel like you're going in the right direction, we just keep on going. The question of why did we stay so committed for so long? The answer is actually the opposite. There was no reason to not be committed because we believed it. And I've believed in NVIDIA for 30 plus years, and I'm still here working every single day. And there's no fundamental reason for me to change my belief system. And I fundamentally believe that the work we're doing in revolutionizing computing is as true today, even more true today than it was before. And so we'll stick with it, until otherwise. There's, of course, very difficult times along the way. When you're investing in something and nobody else believes in it and it costs a lot of money, and maybe investors or others would rather you just keep the profit or whatever it is, improve the share price or whatever it is. But you have to believe in your future. You have to invest in yourself, and we believed it so deeply that we invested tens of billions of dollars before it really happened. And it was 10 long years, but it was fun along the way.
How would you summarize those core beliefs? What is it that you believe about the way computers should work and what they can do for us that keeps you not only coming through that decade, but also doing what you're doing now, making bets I'm sure you're making for the next few decades?
The first core belief was our first discussion was about accelerated computing, parallel computing versus general purpose computing. We would add two of those processors together and we would do accelerated computing. And I continue to believe that today. The second was the recognition that these deep learning networks, these DNNs that came to the public during 2012, these deep neural networks have the ability to learn patterns and relationships from a whole bunch of different types of data, and that it can learn more and more nuanced features if it could be larger and larger. And it's easier to make them larger and larger, just make them deeper and deeper, or wider and wider. And so the scalability of the architecture is empirically true. The fact that model size and the data size being larger and larger can learn more knowledge is also true, empirically true. And so if that's the case, you could, what are the limits? There's not, unless there's a physical limit or an architectural limit or a mathematical limit, and it was never found. And so we believed that you could scale it. then the only other question is, what can you learn from data? What can you learn from experience? Data is basically digital versions of human experience. And so what can you learn?